The Fantasy Six-Pack Hour. With your hosts, Joe Bond.
You're awful.
And A.J. Applegarth.
It's Sin Shu Chu. It's a mouthful.
All right. Welcome to the Fantasy Six-Pack Hour. My name is Joe Bond, founder of FantasySixPack.net. With me, as usual, my late co-host, A.J. Applegarth.
Late as usual.
Super spiky
my
hair.
Co-host. Sorry, bro. I had to get my hair wilding out.
Apparently,
right.
man. Did you do that on purpose tonight? I don't understand how that
I
happened.
did, yeah. Got a little blowout going on.
Sure, man. You gotta do you.
Good.
Whatever works, man. All right, man. Scott's already mentioning on that hair, AJ washing his hair. Yeah, nice chime in there, Scott. Appreciate that. It's funny stuff. All right, man. Yeah. So tonight is a little bit different of a show. Thanksgiving. We're doing it on Tuesday. I didn't want to do it on Wednesday. I didn't want to be all tired trying to cook on Thursday. First time I'm cooking Thanksgiving dinner, and definitely weren't going to do it on Thanksgiving night. So we're gonna figure this out, and we're gonna do it now. Pull up the agenda here. Yeah, we have a. You don't have the jersey hanging behind you, but we're doing the Kenny Gallaudet giveaway signed jersey.
This one, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, that one, baby.
That
will be soon. But for anybody new to us, please subscribe, follow us on YouTube, Periscope, wherever you're listening to us or watching us. We definitely appreciate it. And, I think we should just cut right into our beer of the week. What do you think?
Yes. Thirsty.
Beer.
All right, man. I got mine, but I will let you do the honors.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. I picked up some new brews tonight,
Nice.
and I am drinking nothing super heavy, unfortunately, but a Can of Bliss IPA Resinous from Oscar Blues Brewing.
Solid
This is
choice.
their Hazy India Pale Ale, 7.2%. I'm guessing with the Resinous, it's more of a dank type beer. So I'm about to find out.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever I've had their normal one. I don't know if I've had their residence one. I don't know what that actually means. Show me the can. It's different. It's not yellow. The other one's yellow and blue. So yeah. That's totally,
I got some of those too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's totally different.
Yeah, they have a couple of different variations.
Any good?
Of the Can of Bliss. Yeah, it's very good. It's really smooth actually. A little piney. Yeah, it's good. I like it.
All right. So I am drinking. Sorry, I'm looking down, guys. I'm trying to post everything on on Twitter without having my computer available. I'm gonna have to try to do everything on the computer, or on the phone. So I'm drinking an Aslan Brewing Company. I've had a few of these on the show. This one I was given by a friend, and it is one hell of a beer, dude. It's the Triple Orange Starfish Triple India Pale Ale, 12%er. I'll tell you though, I've had some triples, and man, they taste strong. They feel strong. This one's smooth. It's gonna be scary. If I didn't have the show, I was trying to sip it on the whole time. It might go down in 20 minutes. Type of good, smooth, man. It is that good. So I give it a 4.75. I probably could have given it a 5, man. It's that good on Untappd. So cheers to you, and happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving.
Everybody else listening.
Hope you make it to the question.
We'll get there. So we're gonna skip advice column. At this point in the season, it's week 12. You guys have made it this far. Set your lineups. Do your thing. There's not a whole lot else to give you advice on, right? What I would just wanted to kind of go through, because it's also early, there's a little bit more of reaction that we can give from week 11. And so that's kind of what we're going to do here. First and foremost, though, we're going to talk about the Taysom Hill losing his tight end eligibility on ESPN. And excuse me while I take the floor. You can just start drinking your beer, AJ, because this might be a while, man. Dude, look,
Okay.
let's be real. ESPN should have never ever given Taysom Hill tight end eligibility in the first place. Like, I sort of get the idea, right? But at the same time, man, like he was listed as a quarterback on the roster for the Saints. No, I get he's a gadget player, and if anybody's ever going to try to use him, then you have to put him on. Then you have to put him in a position where people can possibly use him. But nobody was legitimately using him because he was going to get you. I mean, not that it's different from any other tight end in any given week, right? But he was going to give you 2 points one week and maybe 11 the next. But like, it didn't make any damn sense. Like, there was no logical reason why he was getting that position, at least in baseball, right? Like baseball, right? You have position eligibility based on previous years' innings played or games played at a certain position. Sometimes sites get it wrong. In ESPN's rule book, by the way, it says we do not change position eligibility once the season starts. Then they added an asterisk. Oh, we are allowed to change this at any given time. So why put the rule in the first place? Basically, it was the Taysom Hill rule. They knew that this was a possibility, that, Brees was going to go out, Hill was going to go in. And I get it. Like, I get those people who like, oh, look, a guy in my league picked up Taysom Hill and thrown him in his tight end position. And, this is now going to stop him from just running house on the rest of the league. It's 2 more weeks probably. Like, he's not going to win the league because of it. He could get into the playoffs because of it or whatever. But look, my thing is, like, ESPN, you screwed up. You shouldn't have given him tight end position in the first place. You need to own up on it and just roll with it. Make it happen. Look, I'll say this too. I think it was 2 years ago in 2018. I think it was Jalen Samuels for the Steelers. Remember him? He ended up becoming the starting running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He had tight end eligibility on Yahoo. At least Yahoo. I know that for a fact because I picked him up and started him and won the damn league that year. I was getting running back points out of my tight end. It was ridiculous. And I just steamrolled. I was the number 5 seed going into the playoffs and won pretty much single-handedly because of it. So I get it that the Taysom Hill thing, especially with quarterback points, if he ends up starting the rest of the year for whatever reason, could legitimately just upend the leagues. It would totally change everything. But look, that's going to happen regardless of random injuries, right? Like I just really don't like the way that ESPN did this. And the last point I'm going to make on it is that because the biggest reason why I don't like it is because, look, people who are in maybe shallower leagues or whatever, or just don't know a whole lot better, possibly drop somebody very useful. I'm not saying they dropped like a top 10 player at the position, a top 5 player at the position. Nobody's doing that business to pick up Taysom Hill just to start him at your tight end. But somebody could have dropped their legit starting tight end thinking, oh, I've got a quarterback playing tight end for the next 3 weeks. I'll deal with this guy. Like, nobody's dropping Kelsey. Nobody's doing that crap. If they are, like, you got problems. But, say you're streaming tight end and you've got maybe the top tier of the streaming tight end guy right now. You drop that guy to go get Taysom Hill because you could throw him in your ladder for the next 3 weeks and you're going to deal with it, whatever comes back to you. Well, now 1 week later, you're having to go for the scraps. Like, that sucks. So again, lineup decisions were made, and that's the thing that bothers me the most, actually, is like lineup decisions were made thinking he could have had this eligibility for at least 3 weeks. And now he doesn't. Now he had it for 1 week because ESPN, well, our morals say that we shouldn't give it to him. Then why do you give it to him in the first place? That's where I'm at with this, and it totally pisses me off. And it's the reason why I only have one league on ESPN, and it's like my family league. And because if I try to move, I think I'd lose all of them if I tried to move leagues. They're comfortable with ESPN, but otherwise I'd be out. I've been off of ESPN forever. Their baseball is what knocked me off of them a long time ago because they tried to start baseball in like the second week of March, and I couldn't do any of my keeper stuff. I'm like, I need to draft in 2 weeks. I need to move. I got to do something. So, like, whatever. I get it. It's free. And so maybe they're putting a lot of money into it. But you've got millions of customers. You need to figure something out. I don't know. What's your thoughts on this, man? I'm going to take a sip.
Well,
I'm thirsty.
Yeah, he's been drying out that mouth there for a little bit. So
sorry.
Kick back some of that 12%er.
Yeah,
and
I need to take it easy.
Chill a minute. Yeah, I agree with the fact that it was really, I'm trying to think of the right word. I don't want to say stupid, careless might be good to just
to be nicer,
give him tight end eligibility to begin with.
Careless would be okay.
And then to just come back and rewrite your rules. How often do we preach, do not change rules in the middle of a season?
Right.
All the time. I mean, I was guilty of it this year in trying to do it, but putting it in to a vote. If it's a vote that passes unanimously, okay, fine. It didn't pass unanimously because there's people in my league who agree with our general principle of don't change shit in the middle of the season. ESPN is they're not even a monopoly of fantasy anymore. They're nowhere even close.
No, but they are one of the leaders. Like
absolutely,
they are
absolutely
a place that people think of first when you think of football, sports, fantasy, regardless. As much as people want to hate on them, they are still a go-to. I mean, they've got Monday Night Football for Christ's sake. I mean, like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get rid of ESPN from it, but I don't have any leagues with them anymore since I moved my home league off to Sleeper last year, and I don't have any issues with that. I'm very happy to not be on ESPN. But yeah, I think it was a very mismanaged move from the beginning, but then for them to come back out and say, oh, well, we're only going to do it for this week, and then we're changing them out. Look at all of your other sports that you have where people gain position eligibility. Think of relief pitchers in baseball who gain starter eligibility.
I mean, like, come on. Yeah, dude, that's a perfect example. I love that. Man.
It's the best. I mean, that's what I was just going to go. Matt Berry had something out on Twitter earlier about the change. And there was like 3,000 some odd comments when I looked at it. I'm like, yeah, someone's probably already brought this point up. And there were several people that did. But that's the first thing I thought of. Okay, well, in baseball, one of my go-tos in the league that I played in on ESPN was finding a relief pitcher who gained starter eligibility and plugging him in a starter spot because we had 5 starters and 2 relievers. We didn't just have P spots for pitchers. Mm-hmm. So you go and you find, especially a guy like 2, maybe 3 years ago now, Aroldis Chapman had starter eligibility when he was supposed to be a starter coming into the season. I blew like an 8th round draft pick on him because I knew that he was just going to sit in a starter spot every day for me. And it was phenomenal. But you don't take away the eligibility.
You don't take away the eligibility that they ultimately aren't using anymore. And that's what gets me on this. It's like, so that's I didn't even think of that. That's a perfect example of the baseball thing, man, with the pitchers moving from relievers to starters is crazy, especially in a points league, right, where you can sub in a starter in a reliever spot because and look, ESPN, Yahoo, none of these sites do it. They don't go, oh, well, we're going to take away the reliever eligibility. None of them do it, but now ESPN's doing it with Taysom Hill. Yeah. It just seems crazy to me, man. But we need to move on. I could talk on this for a long time, I feel like. So we're just gonna move on. Next up, man, it's what everybody is here waiting for. The Kenny Gallaudet giveaway. We got our trivia question. AJ, put it up, and I will. Hey, real quick before you do it, I will throw the link out on Periscope and YouTube, so you guys it's a Twitter link, so you guys make sure you follow it or respond to my tweet there, and then that's how you will enter to win.
All right, well, the question is in our agenda, but let me do the build up behind it. So That being said, it is clearly Turkey Day weekend. We're in the spirit of giving. Sorry, trying to figure this out. And the one team that's always on the docket for the 12:30 game is the Detroit Lions. Funny that we have a Kenny Gallaudet jersey to give away. Man, who's he play for again? Bears? Tigers? No. Lions. Okay, great.
Lions,
So,
Tigers, the Bears. Oh my, that's good. Sorry.
Lions, Tigers, and jerseys. Oh my. Bears or Chicago, dude. Come on.
We're done.
Get with it.
Nobody cares about this anymore.
All right. So, Mr. Gallaudet has officially been in the league since 2017. He has played in 3 Turkey Day games so far. Last year, he had his best game, obviously, going 158 yards, 1 touchdown, had 96% of the snap share, which was 71 snaps. Pretty solid, 4 receptions, 158 yards. That's a good day.
Yes.
5
Yes, sir.
targets.
A huge one big play that did it with a backup quarterback.
Yes, exactly.
We'll take it.
So that was against those Chicago Bears. 2018, again, against the Bears. They lost 16-23. Had 1 more reception, a few more targets with 8. Managed 90 yards. Okay. 98% snap share with 65 snaps, no touchdowns. And then his first year against Minnesota, they lost again, 20-23, only 2 receptions, 4 targets, and 61 yards, no touchdowns, and 68% share. But rookie season, okay, not a big deal. So again, clearly last year was his big game with his only touchdown on Turkey Day. And that was also a loss to the Bears. So Detroit has yet to win a game on Thanksgiving with Kenny Gallaudet in their lineup. That will not continue this year because Kenny Gallaudet will most likely not be in the lineup, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So
Stinker.
he will not be able to build on that touchdown total. So that brings us to the $1 million, just kidding, free jersey giveaway. How many touchdowns has Kenny Gallaudet scored on Thanksgiving?
All right. All right. We don't have to do that crap.
Rest in peace.
All right. So anybody watching, respond to that tweet I put in the links, in the chat links. It's also on my Twitter. Respond to that tweet with the correct answer. The first 10 that get the correct answer will be entered into a drawing. We're going to use the 100 yards dash web tool, whatever you call it, site, to get the winner at the end. That's what we did for the Devontae Adams one about a month ago. And then you must be following either myself or AJ. One of us has to be able to DM you because we need your address, obviously. We need to be able to send it to you. Or AJ does. AJ's the one sending the jersey. So just make sure you're following at least one of us. That's the important thing. But good luck to everybody. And let's move on, man. So we're back to Taysom Hill. No more angry notes here. Good notes here from Taysom Hill. He subbed in for Drew Brees, and look, I didn't really know what to expect from him. I kind of thought, at least fantasy wise, his floor was pretty good because he ran, right? I thought maybe 60, 70 yards rushing. He only got 51, but he actually caught or had a bunch of yards throwing. I think he scored over like 20 fantasy points, 21 to 24, depending on your scoring format. So pretty good day for him. Now, granted, it was the Atlanta defense, but look, a 30-year-old quarterback who's never started a game. He's thrown like 11 passes in his career or something crazy like that. It was a total unknown game. The one thing I'll say is let's look over, maybe not to Taysom Hill going forward. Like, I don't know, Taysom Hill still, like, maybe he's in streaming category at this point, right? But Michael Thomas, he caught 9 of his 12 targets and actually half of Hill's completions. So he was just peppering Michael Thomas the entire game. Michael Thomas was just doing these little short slant routes that seemed like all game, and it was working. Now, granted, again, Atlanta. But I mean, like, we've seen Michael Thomas play a few weeks, even with Brees once he returned, and it wasn't very good. So are we having a little bit more confidence with Michael Thomas, especially now they had a good game with Hill?
I think so. I mean, it's hard to say where's he been all season with Drew Brees, and it's like he's been injured. What do you expect? I mean, he's not going to be in that great of a rhythm. Yes, he knows the plays. Yes, he knows the routes. He knows what Drew Brees is used to doing, which is usually looking for him. They had a crazy record-breaking season last year. We all knew that wasn't going to happen again this year.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, in the games that he has played with Brees, there's been nothing there. So, it was, I don't know, like a ridiculous amount of regression for what we saw. But again, I think the injuries played a lot into that. I think maybe he's finally healthy, and this game shows it, So I'm excited for what's to come with him and Taysom together. If it's going to be more of the same, we're going to get the Michael Thomas that people drafted in the first round for the rest of the season finally, and this is when it really counts. Playoffs. So if you made it to the playoffs or are almost in the playoffs, in contention, whatever you want to call it, going into week 12 here, this is basically your primer to the primer week. You just got to win these last couple of games and push forward. So hopefully he's back with it and can produce like we know he can and has in the past.
Yeah, and Eric G on YouTube just reminded me that they actually get Atlanta again. So we could at least get one more good game out of him, but I think we're going to get more. I agree with you. Let's see here. Kamara, though. Dude. I'm kind of, I don't know. To me, man, I'm worried. Like, he had 13 carries, and that's awesome. But he only saw one target. I mean, that's not what you expect when you get Kamara, right? You're expecting, like, what, 6, 7, 8, 10 targets sometimes from Kamara. He got one. I don't know if it was game plan or if Hill just wasn't looking his way. Like, Hill, this is the one thing I got to say about Hill, and maybe teams will catch on to this, right, is he's got one read. One read run. One read run. One read run. And that might be his thing. And it just so happened that the one read, now I think a little bit in the beginning of the game, we saw Hill struggling a little bit. He was trying to go deep. I think Sean Payton was trying to open up the offense a little bit, get Atlanta thinking and things like that. And then you saw him just, one read was Michael Thomas. One read was Michael Thomas. That's why he got 12 targets. And it worked. But that one read wasn't Kamara. And maybe it changes next game. Sean Payton's smart, so maybe he'll figure some things out. But you do have to worry about that, like, Brees can go, 1, 2, 3 Kamara, or 1, 2 Kamara, or even 1 Kamara. Maybe Hill can't do that. So do we worry about Kamara while Hill is there under center?
I don't think we can worry about Kamara. I mean, he's been basically the best running back that we've had all season long. I don't really think that's going to change much. But he's missed a little bit of time. But yardage is there. So
one game.
All right. It's close, but
it is close.
The most consistent back that we had has been Kamara, in my opinion. I think he'll be fine. I'm not worried one bit about him. It could have just been game script. It could have been he just didn't look his way, when he should have, and missed plays. He is a tight end playing quarterback. So, I mean, he's going to not be perfect on his first start. That's all you got to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to sit there in redraft leagues and bench Kamara. But I'll tell you, like, and Dave, Eddie, and I talked about this on the Last Call podcast on Sunday. Like, I wanted to start Hill because it was a $4,800 quarterback. But I want to stack him with anybody. And the only guy I even thought about stacking him with was Kamara because I thought they would just hand the ball off a bunch to him. Luckily, I didn't. It didn't matter. My day sucked anyway. But, it is what it is. But I agree with you. I think Kamara is going to ultimately be fine. But, yeah, I don't think he's going to be, he's not going to have that ceiling he did with Brees there. So, another guy, and maybe not as heavy news here, but P.J. Walker stepped in for, for Teddy Bridgewater. And, look, he did okay. He threw a touchdown, threw a bunch of yards. The main thing that comes out of it, like, look, maybe his day wasn't phenomenal, like, because he threw two pretty bad interceptions in the end zone. But at the end of the day, what we were really worried about with P.J. Walker was the fact that DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, even Mike Davis, we're all going to suffer big time. DJ Moore was fantastic. He finished as the number 8 receiver for the week in half PPR leagues. Robbie Anderson was somewhere down in the high 30s because he didn't score, but he did okay. Mike Davis did all right as well. I mean, it sounds like Teddy Bridgewater is going to come back, but I mean, like, what are we feeling with PJ Walker under center if he has to continue?
I like Walker's upside. I mean, I liked it enough to draft him, I believe, is one of my last couple of picks in Fishbowl. Granted, he was one of my first drops.
I mean, of course.
But I mean, he knows Matt Rule's offense. He's comfortable with Robbie Anderson from their college days in that offense. I think that there's upside to be had there. I think he just needs to get the reps down and just really be able to just kind of get back into what he's used to doing. I mean, Carolina is kind of a shit show to begin with, but I mean, Bridgewater's
though, man, they've been
Bridgewater's
pretty
been good. So,
dude.
and Anderson's had a really nice season overall. He's had a couple of dud games, so the consistency hasn't been there, week in and week out. But overall, he's had a good season. DJ Moore's been pretty good. I don't think he's been as good as where his draft stock was, but I mean, Samuel stepped up. Mike Davis stepped up awesomely for McCaffrey when he first went down, and then he kind of tailed off. I think if he's still playing when McCaffrey does get back, I think that's going to open him up a little bit more. He knows that he's going to have people pressuring on McCaffrey and keying in on him more. So it'll just open him up, in the pocket, or, if he has to scramble a little bit. But I just think he needs to come into his own. I'm not overly worried about it, but I'm not necessarily going out of my way to go grab him yet either.
No, I mean, I wouldn't be worried about P.J. Walker. Like I said, that wasn't my concern here. I don't think anybody's rushing out to get him, but I think what this does for me is this gives me a little more confidence that DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson aren't complete duds with P.J. Walker in there. Like, he has playmaking ability. He missed some throws, stuff like that. It was the first start. But I mean, he was electric back there, man. Like, he can run, he can throw on the run. he made some really phenomenal throws. Granted, I saw most of the game on Red Zone, but the stuff that they showed, man, like he made some scramble plays and he just chucked it downfield, and you were like, man, that was a great throw. So I feel good about it. Like, I'm not going to knock DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson down as far as I did in the rankings next time PJ Walker has to start. That's for damn sure. That was a mistake on my part. So,
yeah.
Let's get to some bad news here, unfortunately. And we've got Joe Burrow done for the season. Bad hit. Just got rolled up on in multiple directions. Towards ACL, towards MCL, and apparently there's other damage around the knee as well. So, I mean, this could be like a multi-year injury, man. Like, he's definitely done for this year. Sounds like he might be even out for all of next year. So, we're looking at maybe 2022 for the Bengals' first overall pick. I mean, talk about a setback for everybody. I mean, they were making strides. Look, not team-wise, but they were making strides offensively. And so you thought, look, they're not winning a lot of games. They're going to go into this draft and go defense heavy. They had to, right? Their offense is set. Boyd, Higgins, they got Mixon when healthy, but Gio can fill in. Burrow is obviously phenomenal. They got to address the offensive line, and they needed to get defense. And that's where they had to go. They had to go O-line of defense. But now, I mean, look, they're not going to go quarterback, but it's going to set them back no matter what they do. They're going to be, playing Ryan Finley? Ugh.
That's not even a guarantee that he's definitely starting. It's likely, but
I don't even know. I don't even know who else they have, honestly. So, let's just say it's Ryan Finley, and that's what everybody's expecting. What are we feeling with Boyd, Higgins, A.J. Green? And nobody's feeling great about A.J. Green anyway, although he had some up and downs. What are we feeling about Boyd and Higgins? Those are the two that most people care about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely worried about their upside being capped. I mean, their ceilings definitely drop. Floors probably drop a little too, but overall, I'm more worried about their overall output. I think that Boyd's been very good, with Burrow. Green, like you said, has been up and down. Of course, he gets touchdown last week after I drop him, so
wait,
makes sense. I'm sorry. AJ Green.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Sorry,
I thought you said Boyd. For some reason. I was like, what?
No. Higgins, though, I mean, I think he suffers the most.
Yeah,
he was really coming into his own here with Burrow, and not necessarily taking Boyd over, but he was getting a lot of looks. He was getting a lot of favorable targets. So I am worried about him and Finley. But, I mean, again, they don't have much of a running game, and Mixon's on the IR now, so
right.
That doesn't help. Gio's been pretty good filling in, but, the best thing he's got going for him is his
touchdowns,
straight up mustache game. So
yeah,
I think that's only going to go so far, and November's almost over, bro. So,
yeah, like
I don't know.
I agree with you. I think Boyd is the safer of all the options. Like he goes from a wide receiver 2 to like a flex. And that's even in 3 wide receiver leagues, man. Like, he drops a whole 2 tiers, in my opinion. Higgins is out. Your desperation play with Higgins at this point. Higgins was more big play ability because Burrow was chucking it. Finley's not going to do that. And if they don't play Finley, like really respecting whoever the hell they're going to put in Finley's place to be better, nah. This is not going to happen. They would have to trade for somebody, and why would the Bengals do that? They're not. They're like 3rd pick overall right now. It's not going to happen. So, it's a shame. It blows a bunch of my leagues, man. I was able to pick up Higgins off the waiver wire in a couple of leagues. After the first week, I was just like, oh, all right, this guy's okay. Apparently he's going to see a lot more looks than I thought he was going to. I drafted Boyd in a bunch of leagues because people really, really let him fall, with A.J. Green coming back, and I was like, no. So I'm hurting in all those leagues now because of the Burrow injury. So it's unfortunate, but, it's fantasy football, guys. We just got to move on.
Yep.
That. So
I'm mostly hurting in the leagues where I own Joe Burrow.
Yeah. that would not be good either. So a little interesting thing that happened this week, and I noticed it during every time the red zone would show the Browns and Eagles game. I went, why in the hell is Kareem Hunt there? Why are they only showing Kareem Hunt running the ball? Where's Chubb? And I just thought, nah, they're just not showing those plays. I go back and look at the stats. Kareem Hunt got 4 carries within the 10-yard line. Nick Chubb got 0.
Yeah, that's worrisome.
Explain this one to me,
Chubb
AJ.
owners.
Explain this one to me. I don't understand this one at all. This has got to be a 1-week fluke, right? This is the coaching staff went, oh, we fucked up.
I don't know. I mean, and of all teams to do it against, the Eagles suck. They suck.
I wouldn't say they suck.
Not,
it's just that
they suck. I don't care if they're winning the division.
Well, but the run game doesn't suck. But the thing is, why if the run game doesn't suck, why do you not use Chubb? Chubb's your better pounder, your better running back into short yardage type of thing. I think I even saw somebody else.
I don't know though. I don't know if he is. I think that they're both very similar, talent wise in that aspect to me. I mean, every time I watch Hunt, all he does is just ground and pound. I mean, and if he gets out in space, then he's juking people out of their shoes. Not that Chubb can't, he does too, but I feel like he's got more speed and he just breaks off and then he's gone and goes out of bounds at the 1.
Yeah.
Which was a smart play on his part in that game, but he did the same thing against the Eagles. I mean, he had a huge run and next thing you know, Hunt's in there and he gets the touchdown. So I don't know if that was more because Chubb needed a quick breather and it just happened to work out or
Maybe.
what, but
it just seemed very peculiar. And honestly, look, Chubb still got over 100 yards rushing. You're fine with the day that he had, but if he had gotten that touchdown, because Hunt did nothing. It was 11 rushes for what? I think it was 19 or 16 yards. I don't have the stats in front of me right now, but it wasn't good. It might have been 13 actually. It wasn't good. But he got the and actually he almost had 2. He almost had 2. Yeah. The one was called back. Well, no, he almost had the first one. The first one, his hand went down right before the goal line, and then he reached the ball over. The second one is the one where he leaped over everybody in the corner. But yeah, it was just I just thought of it was. It's just interesting to look at and see the tendencies of teams sort of change as the years go on. It's just a trend that maybe we want to look out for. I get it if they were trying to do pass plays like Eric is saying on YouTube, they use Chubb to get downfield and then throw to Hunt in the red zone. I get that. If they're going to do that, then fine. It's not like Chubb can't catch the ball, but that's what they brought Hunt here for. The difference here was they were using Hunt on short yardage in the goal line, not goal line, but within the 5-10. They were using to run the ball with him in that sort of space, and that's what you think you have Chubb for, but it just didn't work. It just didn't happen this past week, and that's what's very interesting. So let's move on here. Next topic, we've got the Cowboys. Andy Dalton back, some offensive line back. Look. They didn't win the game very pretty, but they won the game. And look, this offense looked way more alive than they have in the last, 5-ish weeks, I think. It may be longer.
Yeah.
It's been bad, man. It's been a bad year for the Cowboys offense ever since Dak went out. are we able to trust this Cowboys offense again? Are we feeling it? They got Washington on Thanksgiving. Fairly
I don't
decent
know.
defense, although they've had some lapses.
Washington's, yeah.
So let's just take it one by one. You seem to be humming on this, whatever you want to say. Let's take it one by one. Let's start with the running game. Zeke, he got a couple offensive linemen back. He went over 100 yards for the first time this year. We good?
I'm good with Zeke.
All right. Cooper had a fairly big game again. Got in the end zone, I believe. Yeah, I should probably look up stats before.
I feel like Cooper's been getting. He's kind of been there all season, for, overall, which I hate. But he hasn't been
I think.
I think Cooper, I'm okay with.
Yeah, Cooper was 6 for 81. Sorry,
I think I'm good with.
But 6 for 84 on 7 targets. 81, I mean.
I'm
Lamb,
good with Lamb.
Lamb went 4 for 34 off 6 targets and a touch.
Yeah, I mean, the yardage wasn't great, but the touchdown obviously kind of saved his day, and that was a really nice touchdown.
It really was a nice touchdown.
I think he's going to be I think he'll be okay, but he's going to be a little more boom or bust, which he's kind of been all season for the most part, even with Dak, I feel like. Gallup has been non-existent.
Yeah, Gallup, in my opinion, I was going to bring that up too. Gallup's droppable, man. I sort of thought that with the backup quarterbacks that Gallup would be the guy that would get a little bit more looks. But yeah, it's not good.
No.
We got an interesting question here, AJ. Ray Gamer asking us, should I play Gallaudet versus the Seahawks or Dalton Schultz versus Washington? What's your thoughts there? I'll give you mine in a second.
Oof.
Right before the show. And
I mean, Goddard had a really good game finally.
Hey, Ray, if you're listening, is it PPR or half or standard? Sorry, I didn't realize you already put in quotes standard.
He's got it in there.
If it's standard, woo, that's even more interesting.
Standard, I still think
He also has Ebron versus the Ravens. He's sitting him. Standard? I think I called
Ebron's touchdown against the Ravens last time.
Honestly, I think
happening again. I kind of like Ebron over both of those guys. I mean, Schultz was the next one I was going to talk about, and he's been pretty good. Regardless of the
honestly though, like here's my thing: if especially if Ertz isn't back, There didn't play this past week. Right? No, he's out. I still think I just go with Goddard. I mean, Goddard's getting so much. I mean, he slowly ramped it up. He looked super good last week.
He did. He
looked I know Seattle's scary, but I don't think they're a team that you're like.
Seattle defense sucks this year.
They suck against receivers. They don't suck against tight ends, I don't think.
Yeah, but they're just giving up so many looks regardless. I mean, yeah. I get that it's more towards receivers, but hey, guess what? Philly doesn't have receivers. They have tight ends. So
yeah, pretty much.
It's where Taysom Hill could have a field day. If Taysom Hill was on the Eagles and had tight end,
Seattle's allowing like the 6th or 7th
ESPN
least amount of points toward tight ends. But yeah, I'm still sort of with Goddard, man. I still think Goddard's the guy.
Standard, I still think he's got the most upside, but
touchdowns are tough to predict. But Goddard's going to get at least 50, 60 yards probably. So you can guarantee the yards. You're praying for an Ebron tight end.
Yeah, you hope so.
You're praying for an Ebron tight end. So Where were we at? Cowboys. Yeah, I feel you on that, man. Let's move on here to the next one. And next topic here, we got Dobbins and Ingram, both on the Ravens, both playing Thanksgiving night. Well, maybe not. After Dobbins destroyed it this last game and looked like he was taking over the backfield fine. We finally thought we had our Ravens running back. He goes on COVID along with Ingram, and somehow Gus Edwards and everybody else on that team is okay. This doesn't make any sense. But anyway, they're out. Like, they cannot play this week. It's a Thursday night. Thursday. There's a Thursday night game against the Steelers, and so now we're looking at Gus Edwards, big time. I mean, how much faith do we have in Gus Edwards? I mean, it's Steelers, but I mean, he's gonna be the guy. Like, he's it. He's all the guy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's a bad play. I don't have a ton of faith in him, though. I mean, Baltimore's just not looked good the past few weeks, and they need to get something figured out quick. Said it before, the Pittsburgh Baltimore matchup is, one of the best matchups in football right now. Both teams are really strong teams overall, and it's a huge division game. It's a short week, and it's even shorter for Baltimore with the COVID issues. They kind of were able to escape a lot of that early this season, and now I guess it's catching up with them. But I mean, I don't trust Edwards a whole lot. I think he's gonna be the main guy. He's gonna get the volume for sure.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if this turns into the Lamar Jackson show, and he just audibles and runs all over the place this week.
It's funny because I immediately, when I went to the rankings, and little spoiler, right? When I was on my bus, I saw Lamar inside the top 10 and went, oh, hell no, against Pittsburgh? And then I went, oh, wait a minute, they don't have any running backs. Guess who the running back is going to be? It's going to be Lamar. So, yeah, he's gonna rush for 100 yards, regardless. Like, guys, it's like almost a lock, like 80 yards at least, right? I mean, I'm exaggerating. I'm just being fun with it. But, yeah, it's not – it's gonna be interesting. Like, I still think Gus is gonna be viable for a lot of people this week. I did rank him, and I gotta go back because I'm on my standard rankings randomly. So I did rank him. Yeah, it wasn't good. I mean, inside the top 25, so not great. Maybe he moves up, but it's just a tough matchup, man. And like, they just don't like to use Gus like full load like that. So, we'll see what happens. All right, man. Let's have some fun. Sorry, you want to say something else?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
All right, man. Let's have some fun.
Cracking a beer.
All good. Thanksgiving, 2 days away. Not even at this point. Let's do our top 5 Thanksgiving foods. So we'll start with our number 5. So 5 worst. If you want to call it a worst, it's not a worst.
It's a Kenny Gallaudet signed jersey that we're giving away tonight. For those of you not listening, no, I'm just. I don't know if the little thing was covering it when I looked earlier. I just picked it up and I was like,
saying, should I trade Gallaudet, Gibson, and Jonathan Taylor, for Keenan Allen? Ooh, that's a lot. Gallaudet, Gibson, and Taylor for Keenan Allen. If I have plenty of running backs.
Define plenty of running backs.
Yeah, right. You got to define plenty of running backs, man. Like, ooh. You got to define plenty of running backs.
I'm fine getting rid of.
I think it's
Gallaudet and Taylor. I don't
Gibson's
know. That's really
solid, man.
But that's why they're doing it, because Taylor's meh. Gallaudet's injured. Gibson is like, hey. I see why he's doing it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, Ray. I know you're talking on here. And yeah, Juju's questionable. We were going to get to that. So obviously that does. You're right. That make Ebron look slightly better. I think you're going to have to make that gut call. I still go Goddard because of the volume, and I know it's a standard league, but I still think you go Goddard. Ebron's the touchdown upside play. It's no guarantee though with him. Like, I mean, touchdowns are so hard to predict. We say all the time, preseason, during the season, any time of the year. So it's tough to predict, but it does make Ebron even a little closer. I mean, the Ravens are pretty good defense too, so you can't, it is what it is. But anyway, let's do our top 5 foods, man. Let's have some fun. Number 5. What you got?
I was literally just gonna say drum rolls.
I know, right?
I'm going with stuffing, man. Whether it's regular or oyster stuffing.
I've never heard of oyster stuffing.
Oh, it's good, man. It's really good.
All right.
It's my father-in-law makes it, and it's quite delicious. So that's gonna be my 5.
All right. Mine's pretty simple, dude. I like the rolls and the biscuits or the the crescent rolls, whatever you want to call it, man. Whatever you have. I don't like the normal like bread, like just the normal rolls you buy type of thing, right? Those are kind of bland, but anything that you got to bake and it fluffs up type of thing, like flaky, buttery, those are good. And there's a big reason for this, is because I like to make a little sandwich with a lot of my foods when I eat on Thanksgiving. So that's the big part of why I'm picking that number 5. So number 4.
Number 4, I know you're not a big fan of this one, but
my wife would like cheers you and say this is her number 1. This is the one thing. We're making dinner for the first time this year, ever. This is the thing she had to make.
It's green bean casserole. It's a staple of Thanksgiving, and you get the little like onion crisp things on the top.
I didn't even know where to find those in the store. I'm not gonna lie.
What?
I had to go buy them.
Find them.
I didn't know where they were. I found them, but I was like, I don't even know what aisle they're in because I've never bought those.
I got some tonight, and they were in like 6 different places in Target. It's like, okay, well, I need to get some, toddler food. Green bean casserole, onion things, cool. All right, I'll grab some of these. And then you're going in. Let me see what kind of fun T-shirts they have. Oh, cool, green bean casserole, onion things. Get some of these again. It's
by
like
way, if you ever go to Target, you find one of those
TV.
Cheez-It shirts. Buy me one because I can't find them in any of the stores I go in. They lie and they say they have.
What
them.
is it?
You go to the men's aisle, right? And they have all those like decorative T-shirts or whatever, like the stuff. They have a Cheez-It T-shirt, dude. I'm a huge Cheez-It fan. I love Cheez-Its.
I literally just bought Cheez-Its tonight too.
Right? Cheez-Its the bomb.
I don't mind if I do.
And but whenever I go into the rack to go look for the Cheez-It shirt, it's not there.
They don't have any. Dude,
BS. It's a lie.
A picture thing of like 15
and they have like
shirts.
3 of them,
maybe, and then the other 3 are like Marchuchan, whatever the fuck ramen noodle thing is, and there's like 6 different shirts of those. Yeah, what
liars. No. So yeah, if you ever find a Cheez-It shirt, buy it for me. I'll pay you back.
All right, I will make a note on my grocery list. Cheez-It shirt.
Sure,
got it.
All right, my number 4, man. Dude, simple old mashed potatoes, man. You can't go wrong. Mashed potatoes, they add to that. Again, I'm building a theme here. They add to that little sandwich mix, man. You put a little mashed potatoes on the biscuit or whatever the roll that you've got. We're gonna add some stuff
Turkey
later.
Bobby.
We're gonna add some stuff later, and we're good to go, man. I even like to throw in some corn with it. I didn't throw that on there because corn is pretty bleh. But you throw in the corn in the mashed potatoes.
Top 5. It's not a top 5 Thanksgiving.
No. You mix it in with the mashed potatoes. It's phenomenal, dude.
Yeah. Corn in mashed potatoes. That's like one of my go-tos if I go to Boston Market. It's like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
You have like 18 sides that I want, and I can only pick 2. All right. Fine. I'll do this. Yeah. All right. So number 3, the same for both of us.
Right.
I mean, the turkey. It's not. I almost left it off. I'll be honest.
did
I almost
too.
left it off my top 5
I've had
because
some bad ones.
all right, whatever. You're gonna have turkey, but I
For
try not
3
to eat
weeks.
that much turkey because it's there's so much other stuff that you can have that's way better, in my opinion. But all right,
No,
so
I'm
we'll
with you.
switch
So real quick, turkey for me, man. Like turkey for me, like I've had some bad ones, real dry. Like, dude, if it sucks, I've had some, deep fried ones. I've also had really good ones that are like good and like basted and cooked in the oven and they're moist and stuff like that. But like, it's got to be cooked right, and I pray that I am going to be cooking it right because I'm the one cooking it this year. I looked up the recipe. I've bought all this stuff for it. My first time ever. It's gonna suck. I guarantee it.
It's not. It's so easy. I mean, there's so many different recipes and shit online you can find.
Yeah, like I was talking with Jeff after the show last week, and he said, stuff the apple and the lemon and stuff like that in it and the onion, and I was like, kind of like, what? And then I started looking up all these recipes, and like literally 9 out of 10 recipes said to do the same thing, and I was like, all right, maybe Jeff's got something. So
yeah,
I'm just gonna go for it, man. I'm just gonna do it, and hopefully it doesn't suck. So
yeah.
all right, man. What's your number 2? Sounds like a dessert.
All right. My number 2 is sweet potatoes with, and I kind of thought about it after I wrote it out here, but I'm gonna go with some Cool Whip and cinnamon or marshmallows. Typically, you see the marshmallows.
Yeah.
Again. I'm thinking of Boston Market.
I think marshmallows are normal anyway.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, but I'm on like a Cool Whip kick right now. Doing my stewie.
Sure.
So, dude, sweet potatoes are delicious. You can't go wrong with that.
Not a sweet potato guy, and myself, unfortunately. I know a lot of people like it, man. I've tried sweet potato fries. I've tried sweet potatoes. I can't get into it. I just don't like the flavor of it. So it's unfortunate. I mean, look, I blame my mom. I
didn't eat salad until I was at least 21.
Dude, I didn't eat barely any.
And I'm
fruit
pretty
or
sure
veggies.
that the first salad I may have had might have been like around Thanksgiving or like home for a school break or something. I was like, whatever. I'm just gonna try this. I was like, all right, it's pretty good. Doused in ranch, but
well, of course. So you like
whatever.
ranch? I'm sure you like lettuce still.
No, I've grown. I'm
okay.
I'm beyond the the ranch chugging days. And yes, I do have a picture of me chugging from a bottle of ranch.
Oh.
Kind of like Remy in
that's
Big
not
City
good.
Greens. If we have any Big City Greens fans out there, kids show, but it's hilarious and it's got adult themes. So check it out. All right.
My number 2, man, deviled eggs, dude. Nom, 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 nom. Like,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this would probably be my number 1 if I didn't say F everybody and their traditions, and my number 1 is going to say, screw you all. Like, I don't care. I love this food, and I'm making it part of my Thanksgiving. Deviled eggs are number 1 on my list. It's like 1 of 2 times of the year I get it. I don't do mayonnaise, though. It's egg yolk,
No, yeah.
mustard, paprika.
Mayonnaise.
That's it. Dude, my wife's family likes to put, like, mayonnaise or other crap in it, and I'm like, oh, no. Just, no. Leave it basic.
I don't know. Maybe I've had them with mayonnaise before, but
It's too creamy. I don't even know if it's mayonnaise sometimes either. It's like horseradish sauce, and I've had that in it too. It's just like, no, it's too much. Like, it's just mustard, regular. It's regular
I'm not
mustard.
trying to like clear my sinuses.
Right. It's regular mustard mixed in with a little bit of milk,
and in a food coma in a matter of 30 minutes.
Yeah. So it's mustard with a little bit of milk, and then you mix it all up. It makes a paste basically of the egg yolk. You scoop it into the half of the egg, and then you sprinkle some paprika on it. Paprika does literally nothing but make it look pretty, but it's full. It's cool.
Yeah.
So, all right, man. Number 1, we're here. What's your number 1?
All right, I'm going.
Screen
I'm going
shaking.
dual threat surprise
Dual
here.
threat.
Number
What
one.
the hell's happening
I'm
here?
sure you know what one of them is.
I know exactly what I want to puke every time you say it.
Such a bitch.
Because it's
You're
awful.
such a bitch. No, it is phenomenal. It's what makes the chicken bobby a chicken bobby. God damn it. Cranberry sauce.
All right. Berries or no berries?
Fucking love it. What? Oh, I mean, dude, I'm not above just taking a can and
Well, no. So they're
right
all
into
out
a
of,
dish
well,
and
most of them are out of a
spooning it
can.
right into my
But they
face.
have the stuff with the berries and stuff without the berries. So it's like
Well, I've
it's
made
usually
I've
like
made
the
my
gel.
own. Yeah, I've made my own with berries, and it's been okay. I think I'm
Okay.
more on board of just the 97-cent can and it's
And we had high end. I
freaking
got
Zeke spooning it into my mouth.
okay.
So my other dual threat option here, going back to desserts, baby, and a little bit
Desserts.
more of
Oh,
the
we're adding
Cool
desserts.
Whip pumpkin effing pie.
All right. So we're gonna add a dessert here at
Delicious.
the end. That's fine. That's fine.
So phenomenal.
I'll add a dessert at the end if we're gonna do that. I didn't know if we were going to, but okay. So my
No, I
number
mean, that-
one.
Those are my number one as 1A, 1B to me.
That's
I mean,
fine.
could
Hey, I get
mix
it, man.
them
They're
together
end of
and,
the end of the
you know,
meal.
bathe
They're end of the
them. I don't
meals.
care.
I get it, man. My number one, absolutely number one, and I don't care what anybody says. Mac and cheese. Screw you guys. I don't care anymore.
It's good. It's good.
I don't care anymore. My mom makes the most phenomenal mac and cheese. It's not like, dude, I don't like Kraft mac and cheese. Screw that crap. It's like the cheese, like, dude, like you can pick up, you put your spoon in the casserole dish, man, you get like half the casserole dish full. It's that thick, man. It is so phenomenal. Scott went beer. Well, yes, of course. I also grew up in a family that didn't drink at Thanksgiving, and then my wife's family didn't drink at Thanksgiving. But guess what we're doing this year? We're drinking at Thanksgiving because it's my house. So yeah. No, dude, like that.
I like to just call it Thursday.
I mean, yeah, we usually do the podcast on Thursday. I got to make up for it somehow. But yeah, dude, the mac and cheese we make is so thick and so heavy, dude. Like, it is so good. It's so good. Like when you microwave it, like the oil, you can see the oil coming out. Like that's how much butter and grease just comes out of it. Like it is the best mac and cheese I've ever had.
It's like
nothing. I don't see anything is gonna beat it.
Fettuccine Alfredo and re-microwave it. It's just
Yo,
full of.
I don't think you can reheat fettuccine Alfredo.
God, I don't even know
Nah.
what kind of oils are in it, but I'm
I'm
sure
not-
they're essential oils because they're in food. You know, I don't know.
I can't reheat fettuccine, man. Like it's just I don't feel like it works very well. So if we're gonna do dessert, dude, I'm a mix between, and you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna go with a dessert my mom made when I was a kid, and it's actually like a pecan cheesecake. So it's like a pecan caramel like layer on top of like a graham cracker crust. It's really thick and heavy, and then like a cheesecake on top of it. Because I love pecan pie and I love cheesecake, so it was like a mix of both. And so it's phenomenal. But if I had to pick one random, like just one standard dessert, to be pecan pie. That's my go-to. So
Works.
all right, man. I'm hungry, so we need to finish eating or finish eating. We finish the damn show, so I can go get something to eat.
Do I have behind me I can just dip into right now?
I know, right?
I'm almost about halfway.
I'm out of my
second
beer. We're an
here.
hour in, so we should have been done by now.
I don't know if this is the same one that you had the other show or not. Oliver Brewing, Tell Your Citra, it's hazy, not lazy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought
Well, I might have had. No, I haven't had that one yet on the show.
You
I had it off air with us, but it's good.
Okay.
It's all right. Way to spoil my fun. Anyway, all right. Injuries here, real quick. Rip through these. So obviously mentioned Mark Ingram's and Dobbins. Lamichael Pirine is out with an ankle. Randall Cobb is out with a toe. Rex Burkhead done with the torn ACL, and obviously we know Joe Burrow as well. Quarterbacks, Kyler Murray, man, we saw him flexing that shoulder a lot. AC joint injury, questionable. It sounds like he's gonna go. I mean, he figured it out that game, but who knows? Teddy Bridgewater questionable with a knee, but he was super close last week. I'm kind of expecting him to go. Interesting part here, man, the Bears, man, they don't even know if they have a starting quarterback right now. It's Foles and Trubisky both hurt. Foles has a hip pointer, and dude, we thought it was way worse than that, but now he's questionable. Yeah. Trubisky questionable and was actually out last game with a shoulder. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens there. You guys are going to keep an eye on that one. Obviously, if I think if they go to the third string quarterback, like they're done, dude. I don't think you can start. I don't even know if you can start Allen Robinson, in my opinion. Like I think it's just going to be toast, which is unfortunate. So, let's see here. Running backs, Deandre Swift. Good news. We got a lot of good news this week, actually. Deandre Swift concussion practiced today. Raheem Mostert.
Good news. He's concussed.
But he practiced. Well, that was a late concussion call last week, man. We were like, what the hell? Raheem Mostert should play. Pull it off the IR this week. CMC, doubtful shoulder, so not good news. McKinnon, questionable with a neck injury, but looking like he might play. Eckler activated off the IR, so that's good news. And then Chris Carson, foot practicing. So, hey, we got like 5 out of 6 running backs all on the injury list, looking like they're coming back. So,
Chris Carson probably not playing.
Shut up.
Wide receivers. All right, we've got me and Julio Jones down by the schoolyard, questionable with a hamstring. John Charlie Brown Christmas. Oh, wait, wrong holiday. Sorry. Questionable ankle.
Too early.
Sammy Watkins Glen Racetrack, questionable hamstring. LaVisca Chenault, questionable hamstring. Juju Smith-Schuster, questionable with a toe and also possibly afraid of COVID, so he may not play. I don't know. Brandon Ayuk is on COVID IR, so there's that. And then, of course...
It was a late COVID IR placement last week, so I guess it's possible he plays, but if I haven't heard any updates, so I just threw him on there.
Yeah. And then, of course, last but not least, our jersey giveaway star, Kenny Gallaudet, questionable with a hip. He did not practice. It's looking likely that he will be out again. And I want to say Stafford was dealing with
Stafford got the thumb
issue too.
He played, so he's not like questionable or anything, but dude.
Yeah. Keep an eye on it though.
I don't think he's gonna miss the game, but he played like crap last week, and they got shut out. I mean, that's how bad it was last week. They got shut out, dude, against Carolina. Yeah. Carolina's not good, so it was not good.
I don't know. So, and then last but not least, we've got Mark Andrews questionable with thigh issue. Yeah, and COVID's running rampant in Baltimore, in case you haven't heard.
Apparently, yet, so. Somehow they're not shutting down anything, but I have no idea how this works anymore. So I'm done. I'm trying to figure out how this works. All right, man. Let's give our picks of the week, and so we're gonna give our T-Day Turkey Day awards out. So we're gonna start game by game. Give our game day awards out. Our 6-pack of beer awards. That's what we do. Screw the turkey legs. We like beer. As Scott alluded to, beer. Texas and Lions, man. Who you got?
I'm going with Brandon Cooks, man. He's averaged 5, just under 6 receptions, 8 targets, and 67 yards in his last 5 games. There was a couple dud receptions of 3 receptions one week and then only 39 yards another week. So that's what brought those numbers down. But he's got 2 touchdowns in those 5 games. And that's all after his finally huge breakout game of 8 receptions on 12 targets, 161 yards, and a touchdown against Jacksonville back in week 5, I believe it was. So I like Cooks this week. I think Detroit is very beatable from a wide receiver standpoint, and I just think he could reap the benefits here.
Yeah, man, I'm right there with you. I like Deshaun Watson. I think obviously if anybody's gonna get it, it's gonna be the quarterback. I probably stole that from you, but Yeah, I mean, Cokes would be the next guy up for me. Him and Fuller, and any one of those guys. I think are in it. I think the Lions are just toast in this game.
Yeah.
So Cowboys and the Washington football team.
Oof. I'm going Antonio Gibson in this. I know we just talked about him being kind of the high point of that trade talk. And look, dude, he had his best game of the season against Dallas. Granted, that was when Dallas was really, really bad. But he went 20 for 168 and a touchdown, and he's coming off another 16, rushes, 94 yards and a touchdown against Cincy. Okay, also bad. But yeah, I think it's a good week for him. I think he's finally kind of showing what he's got. So I like Gibson this week.
Yeah, mine's gonna be CeeDee Lamb. I think the Washington secondary is a little overrated. I think it's obviously helped out because that front seven's really, really, really good. But Dallas looked okay this last week, protecting Dalton and just giving him time. And, Cooper might get more targets and ultimately more yards, but I think Lamb could just break it open a couple times. We see wonky things happen on Thanksgiving a lot, right? And so, not that Lamb scoring twice would be wonky, but I think CeeDee Lamb could be that difference maker this week, and he's going to be probably a little underpriced on DFS and things like that. I haven't looked, but I think he would be a little underpriced, Cooper and those guys. So he's my go-to there. Steelers and Ravens, the nightcap here. If anybody's actually awake at that point, I might not be after a couple beers and a bunch of turkey. But who's your guy, man?
All right. Well, in this one, I am gonna have to go with Lamar Jackson. Look, everything points.
Upset?
Look, yeah, I think so.
It has to be if Lamar wins, dude. If Lamar gets it has to be an upset.
Yeah, I mean, everything's pointing to this being a very unfavorable matchup for him, but everybody else is on COVIDed, so yeah. I mean, he's going to be, like I said, the DFS version of Taysom last week, and just
no, he's not 4,800. So
I know. Yeah, he's still high.
He's still
price,
7,000 or whatever he is. So
yeah.
Mine's gonna be Chase Claypool, man. I think I think this running game for the Steelers has been bad for the last few weeks. I know. Yeah, I know Connor looked like he had a good game last week, but ultimately it really wasn't. If you really watch the game, it wasn't a good game for him. So Claypool is my guy. I think he's gonna break it deep, and that's where we're gonna go. So all right, let's give the rest of our picks, our Sunday and Monday picks, I guess we can call it. So we'll start with our sleepers here. Our quarterbacks that we use, if anybody listened for the first time, it's our sleepers for quarterbacks is anybody outside the top 15 for quarterbacks. Want me to go first?
Yeah, if you yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I've got mine, but
all right, you don't have it written down yet, so I wasn't sure. So, but anyway, I'll go first. I'm gonna go Tua Tagovailoa. I mean, look, I know he got benched last week. I think he's gonna watch a lot of tape this game. This guy's a smart player. I know he hasn't had the big game yet, but look, he gets the get right game against the Jets. If anybody's gonna pop into the top 12 randomly, it's gonna be Tua, because of that. So, what you got there for sleeper quarterback?
Sleeper, I will have to go with Phillip Rivers.
I thought about it. I did.
He's one spot right there ahead of your boy Tua. Old man Rivers has been pretty decent this year. I mean, he's coming off a 3-touchdown game. He's got 7 touchdowns since the bye week in week 7. Against Detroit. Okay, understandable. 3 touchdowns there. Baltimore, no touchdowns and an interception. Tennessee only 1, and Green Bay 3. But put up 300 yards on Tennessee last 2 weeks ago. Still a decent game. I think Indy's got it going on right now. They're at home. I think this is going to be a good game for Phil.
Yeah, I thought about that one. I really did. So my running back, anybody outside of the top 24 on the Fantasy Pros ECR currently, granted it is Tuesday, it'll change probably pretty drastically. But mine's James White, and I mean the biggest reason is Burkhead's out, and we saw exactly what happened last week. As soon as Burkhead went out, James White was that dump off guy, and James White was James White. I mean he got like 60 yards pretty quick. I don't understand why it wasn't him to get go. I still think he's more talented than Burkhead. I think the reason why ultimately is though because Burkhead could be like a more running threat. Like I think he's bigger and bulkier and kind of run through the tackles more than White can. Yeah. And so when you put in White there, you're just expecting the dump off. But I think now it's obviously White's turn to take over that passing role, and we saw Cam just likes to check it down. I mean, that's what he does. He checks it down and throws it to like one receiver every game. So, James White.
Yeah, that's kind of his go-to at this point. So, I'm into it. Mine is actually going to be. Oh shit! I had it. Where'd he go? Okay. I'm going David Montgomery. Green Bay is not good at all against the running backs. We've already talked about we have no idea who's even going to be playing quarterback. So this could be a heavy run game for Chicago. And, I like Montgomery this week.
Yeah, I mean, is he playing? I don't even know. I don't even know if he's playing.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, wait. If he's playing?
Yeah, is he activated?
Oh shit!
Why is he on people's list? I guess.
No,
he returned to practice on Monday. I missed that.
He's
so
playing.
Injury news: he returned to practice on Monday
last week.
Totally missed on that one.
They were the bye anyways, so it was like, okay, rolled out for your bye week. Well, damn, that sucks.
Yeah, I missed on that one. So yeah, good call on that one there. Receiver, anybody outside the top 36? I'm going with Josh Reynolds of the Rams. Look, if anybody missed this, by the way, he led the Rams in targets for the last 3 weeks prior to this past Monday. I think now that the Rams went, this crazy throwing the ball to Kupp and Woods, and they both had double-digit targets, double-digit receptions each. I think Reynolds could be that like sneaky, like everybody's gonna forget about him again type of play, and he could just creep right into there in that that top 24 range.
Yeah, that's a solid pick. I mean, Reynolds has been really, really good.
He's really come around.
Oh, yeah. All right. So I myself am going to go with Jacoby Myers.
Bounce back.
Yeah, I mean it's
total dud after last week. Unfortunately,
it was, and I think that he's gonna get back into it. And you know what? Actually, I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna go with Nelson Aguilar.
I like that one. I almost
alligator hands. I mean, shit. Derek Carr is going to throw the ball. I don't like this matchup for Josh Jacobs, and Atlanta sucks against receivers. So going with Aguilar.
All right. Interesting you say that, because my bust, by the way, for any quarterback inside the top 12 is none other than Derek Carr. Hear me out here, though. Derek Carr has 2 top 12 performances. Do you want to guess who they're against?
Kansas City.
Yeah, and Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Yeah, pretty much he shows up against Kansas City, and then nobody else. I was like, what? Like, I thought he was actually slightly better against other teams this year. He has 5 games outside of the top 20 for quarterbacks. Like, Dude, Derek Carr's not good. I mean, nobody's surprised to hear that, but he's not good. So, look, is Atlanta a phenomenal matchup? Yeah, of course. But he's had other really phenomenal matchups. It doesn't matter. You know, they might get a touchdown from him, and then they're gonna try to slam the ball, you know, and play ball control with their defense, which is actually pretty solid, and Josh Jacobs and Devontae Booker. That's it. That's what they do. So I'm not feeling Carr this year. Yeah, maybe Aguilar gets that big play touchdown, and that's what you're gonna get from him. So maybe he does become a good sleeper. But I think there's a reason why he's outside the top 36 in a lot of people's rankings. So it's risky, really risky in my opinion. So who you got?
All right. So I'm going with Big Tom. Dude, he did not look good at all last night. I mean, he had a couple of decent plays, but he also had a couple of horrendous interceptions. I mean, I don't know what he was doing on those plays, but he just floated the hell out of the ball.
Oh, it was bad.
It was so un-Brady like, I feel like, unless it was, you know, the Super Bowl against the Eagles. But
of course.
I mean, other than that, I mean, you just don't see that out of Tom Brady. But yeah, I gotta live in the glory while I can. All right.
Hey, I'm living in the 80s and the early 90s with my team.
Yeah, seriously.
So, we're good.
Does Washington have?
We're good.
Yeah. How often do they get rings? Every 3 decades, please. That's a D.
Shut up. Anyway. All right. Big Tom. I get it. All right. Running back inside the top 20. Mine's James Conner. I mean, look, I kind of alluded to it earlier, man. Like, it seemed like he had a bit of a bounce back game, you know, last week against the Jags. Like, the Jags are terrible against the run. So, if he didn't really have like his blow up game against the Jags, why do we think it's going to happen against the Ravens? The Ravens are a top notch defense, especially against the run. Good luck, guys. I'm not starting James Conner this week if I've got anybody worth, you know, starting even close to him in the rankings. I just can't do it. And yep, that's what I got. Who you got?
I'm going with CEH. I mean, I think he's still going to be involved, clearly, but I do think Lev Bell's starting to get a little more comfortable. I think he's going to start dipping in and taking a little bit more of that work away, especially at the goal line. I can definitely see Lev Bell jumping in and taking that over as early as this week. So I think CEH is still, man. I mean, he's still going to be started. But
CEH scored 2 touchdowns on Monday.
I know.
Monday night, right? Yeah. It was a good game by him, dude.
Monday night.
Yeah, Monday. I got the games mixed up. No, Sunday night. Monday was Rams.
That's what I said. You just said Monday night, and I said
I mixed it up like 3 times. Yeah. It's cool. All right, man. My receiver inside the top 24. Probably no surprise, man. I kind of said this earlier. Allen Robinson. I hate to say it, but like, I think this guy is one of the top 5-10 receivers in the NFL. But I think the bad quarterback display mixed with bad play calling has really caught up to him. It's not a slight on him. It's just there's nothing he can do about it. And so he's just a bad play at this point. You're probably starting him because you probably don't have anybody ahead of him and you know, to mix in your lineup because he is like you drafted him so early. Dude, I'm right there with a bunch of you. So I'm playing him, hoping for the best. But honestly, like if Foles or Trubisky don't play, I mean he's probably dropping like a rock in my rankings, and I'm not relying on it. So, what you got?
I'm going right damn near the top here, and I'm gonna go with Keenan Allen. I hate to have to make this call.
That dude has been so good. That's a tough one, dude.
He has been so good. But Buffalo's good, man. That's a tough defense. You know, I don't know if he's gonna pull out a DeAndre Hopkins 3-on-1 touchdown jump ball.
Probably
the end of
not.
the
He's
game.
He's not 6'6" or whatever the
The
hell
game is
Hopkins is.
in Buffalo.
know
No,
Hopkins
he's
isn't
only
6'6".
6'2". So
I know Hopkins
whatever.
isn't 6'6", but I just I like to joke. Anyway,
But yeah, no, I mean, he's still gonna get volume, but I would temper expectations.
all right. So tight end streamers 60% or less owned on Yahoo. I'm going Robert Tonyan. Like, I know we talk about how the Bears secondary is really good, but honestly, like, they do allow points to the tight end. 10th most, by the way, to tight ends. And so I think we all can agree that Devontae Adams probably going to get his. That's not a big deal. But I think, you worry about the other receivers getting shut down. So who's the second target for Rodgers? It's going to be Tonyan. And he looked his way this past week, 5 targets, 5 catches, and a touchdown. So I think Tonyan can be a sneaky good play again this week.
All right, yeah. Another guy that I had played and stopped playing, and then he decides to do something. So,
tight end's tough this week, man. It really is. Or this year. I've dropped him in a couple leagues. I dropped Tonyan already, so I'm right there with you. I think a bunch of people are.
Yeah.
I'm still riding Gesicki in one league because I can't do anything else. I got nothing. I can go pick up Irv Smith. Is that any better? Nah. Not quite. I'll stick with Gesicki.
I'm gonna dig deep here. I'm going with Tyler Eiford.
I like it, actually. I like it.
He's been getting plenty of targets. He's got 14 targets over the last 3 weeks. He's looking at 8 receptions, not a ton of yards and no touchdowns, but Cleveland just got torched by Dallas Goedert, who we were talking about earlier. So I kind of like the upside there.
Yeah, I like
it's
that
still
one.
a little bit touchdown dependent, but I could see him getting in the end zone this week.
Yeah, I do like that one a little bit. All right, let's finish things up here. Our defense this stream. I feel like I'm going chalk streamer here, and it's got to be the Giants, right? They're facing the Burrow-less Bengals. Enough said. You had the floor. Good luck picking a better one. You can disagree with me if you want. It's fine.
I could, but that would defeat the purpose of me picking something.
It's not like we don't have enough guest stealer picks.
Damn, there's not really
nothing. No, dude, really, Washington against Dallas would probably be the next one.
Maybe.
But then with Dalton back, but at least they get sacks. That's kind of what you're going with there. It's tough, man.
Yeah.
I saw the Giants. I was like, yeah, easy. Finally. Thankfully, we did this before waivers ran for once because I have a feeling tomorrow the Giants are going to be 70% owned.
Yeah.
We usually do this on Wednesdays or Thursdays, and it's like there's nothing left. At least I had Taysom Giants to pick from, which was a relief.
Yeah, my other choice was potentially Buffalo, but I got to go Washington.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick with that.
I agree with it. So, all right, man. Well, that is all I've got for the show. Before we go, just remind everybody, please follow us and subscribe to us, whatever you're listening on, watching us on. Appreciate you guys. Again, with Thanksgiving, we're definitely thankful for everybody listening. The show has seemingly blown up this year, which is awesome. Our Periscope feed has been pretty big. The analytics that have come from it, YouTube has gotten pretty big. So we appreciate all of you guys. It's what keeps us doing it every week. I don't know about you, AJ, but I definitely keep going because everybody that watches. If we didn't have a whole lot, I'd probably be like, nah, let's just skip this week. But I like everybody.
We've come a long way. It's been 5 years, and we've gotten a lot of listeners now, and it's really turned into something fun. I mean, it's always been fun for us, but now we have more of a reason to keep doing it, and we thank you all So cheers to everybody. Have a safe
I'm
and
out of
happy
beer, but
long
cheers, guys.
holiday weekend. Rookie.
I'm sorry. I thought I
drink
wouldn't have it.
and I can't have a second one.
Well, I didn't think it'd be an hour and a half show. Leave me alone. Should have
Not my fault.
Should have known better.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
that's kind of my fault.
Yes, it was.
Okay, Taysom ramp. Anyway,
All right.
but yeah, we greatly appreciate the listeners, the support, and keep listening, keep supporting us. We'll keep being here. So have a great holiday weekend. Stay safe, stay socially distanced, wear your masks. Science is truth. Cheers.
We just lost 10 followers. All right. Peace.
Whatever.
All right. Cue the music. Peace.